Talk to me, man. We haven't really talked about this. I've heard you talk about it, but I know how much of a big deal it is to even have like someone like Eminem acknowledge who the fuck you are.
Dude.
But to have Eminem sample your song and to be able to perform with him, to be able to you've been performing Lose Yourself on stage.
Yeah, for years.
And,
for years.
And can you like I said, I know you've talked about it a lot, but I just feel like it's such a I just know how big of a deal that was for you, man. So, it's getting weird.
It's getting weird, dude. No, dude, he's the GOAT. Anybody who says Eminem's not the greatest rapper ever is just lying. They're just, they're allowing other factors to get involved.
If we're talking about the talent of rapping,
yes. I would argue to say that, I don't know. There's a lot of, we'll never see nobody better.
Yeah.
I think there will be. I don't think that I'll live long enough to see it.
Yeah, I think
what I mean?
I think lyrically, I think I always say we're in the middle of this era of Kendrick Lamar, and it's almost like watching Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, we just kind of take advantage of Steph Curry and LeBron's on TV. But like we lived through the Eminem thing, and we're still here, so we knew what it was like. Right. But I think during that era, we didn't look at Eminem as the greatest of all time. We just loved Eminem.
100%. I don't know the Kendrick moment. I don't know. Kendrick's got a unique thing that's happening right now that's very Eminem-ish as far as that dude's been putting out hits a long time now.
For sure, it's been 10 years. 2012 is when Good Kid, Mad City came out.
He's a decade into putting out real, absolute, solidified bangers.
Bodies of work.
Eminem had a decade like that. I think that his follow-up to Not Like Us will be one of the most important bodies of work. Whatever he does next will be super, super important.
But he
also takes a lot of time off, right? He has big drops and big
100%.
Big layoffs.
Takes time. Yeah. What is that like first initial? Is it a text? Is it a call where you find out that a Save Me remix is on the Eminem album?
Dude,
essentially?
It's Paul Rosenberg. It's Paul Rosenberg, man. Paul Rosenberg is the dude.
Yeah.
So that's M's longtime manager. Anybody watching that doesn't know, absolute
Goliath.
legend. Been with him day one. Built the entire business around it. Just he'll go down as one of the greatest to ever do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And him and my manager John Manili have been friends since they did Renegade together. Back when John was.
Yeah, John was with Jay-Z back in the day. Yeah.
So they've been friends for all this time. I didn't know I was on M's even radar. I just assumed, that if I had a chance to be on his radar, it would have been a decade ago. Whenever I was the 10-minute freestyle, might have caught it. But apparently he dug the record. And when they initially called, they just said send it with no context. And for this fucking Eminem, I don't need any context. You tell me Eminem wants something, send the stem,
send the
stem, send the
whatever he
session.
needs.
You send the vocals we didn't use.
Yeah.
If he wants to go recomp, you know what I mean? Like send him everything. And you know how rap is. I thought he was going to send me a verse and I was just going to have a remix in my phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
I like this. Let me
dig this. Let me slide on it, man. I just kind of, man. I'm the rub. I'm gonna give you the rub. I'm just gonna throw you one. Him, Drake. They've kind of waned. I've watched these guys do it over the years. Just like randomly, just throw somebody one. And I was like, I might be finna get one. And it turned out even cooler than getting one. It turned out that it ended up being for his album. Now I didn't hear much about it for like a year or 8 months or whatever. I mean, it was a long period of time.
So it was a process.
I'm not good at judging time right now because I think I started this tour 8 months ago and it was 6 weeks ago.
Right.
I don't know. I'm lost. But it was definitely enough time that I had gotten sad. That's the best way to put it. It was long enough that I had come to the conclusion it wasn't going to happen. And then John calls me. He's like, M's going to put this on his record. Like, for sure. Because when I seen Houdini drop, I was like, maybe. I was like, he might be, this could be real.
Right.
Because my fear was he just didn't drop it all. But I had a feeling that it was going to happen, and it did, man. Doing the video with him, he's been nothing but kind, man.
Yeah.
Nothing but kind.
Yo.
Funny, genuine, all that stuff.
How hard is it for you with your come up? I always wonder this because I know that we are in a very finicky industry, and you've been a part of this industry long before you were a household name. But to have the success you've had over the last couple of years, and to probably have new interactions with people that maybe didn't reply to DMs or big timed you, and does that, do you remember all? I don't think you're a petty guy, but is that like, do you ever like, but I also know you don't forget.
Yeah, for
so
sure. No,
like, does that happen a lot for you?
No, I remember like the couple of like booking agents that really passed on me. That like genuinely just like took the meeting and you just never heard back from, and then somebody else comes and says they passed.
Right.
Those you kind of don't forget because, you know, you're so desperate that those meetings mean everything.
Right.
But I also didn't hold much of a grudge though, because I guess that's how I still look at stuff, Kev, is that even then I would go into those rooms like, I don't care how this meeting goes. The fact that I was invited here lets me know that it was like, to me, an arrow. There's this old-fashioned phrase that the arrows are always pointing us in the right direction. You know, you just got to look for them. Yeah. It's like, these were arrows for me. You know what I mean? So anytime I got big shotted, the fact that I was close enough to something to get big shotted was like, I'm cooking. Yeah. I'm cooking. I thought about me and Paul, talking about Paul Rosenberg. I met Paul Rosenberg when Yellow Wolf was getting ready to put out Love Story.
Okay, so this is like 2014, 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's probably right around a decade ago, and it's way before, probably a year, 7-8 months before the album came out. He was playing some of the music for like a private Grammy pre-listening party for Interscope.
Okay.
And Paul was there. And I got blackout drunk on Whistle Pig. Never forget it. And, you know, I met Paul then. But I'm Yella's +1, right?
Yeah.
And even then, in those moments, I was like, man, I'm on the right path.
Right.
Like, if this dude likes me enough to invite me to this party and then introduce me to this dude, like, this is more arrows pointing the right way, you know?
I feel like Love Story was so ahead of its time that if that album came out in 2024, it's got a couple '1 records on it.
Dude, it is... It still had a couple of really big records.
No, of course. I mean, I think Till It's Gone is platinum or gold. I think it was American You on there.
I think that was a really weird time for. Dude, it had the Eminem record on there. My best friend.
Yeah,
dude, it had
Blood in My Veins. That one and the one about his baby mama.
Yeah, dude. Was Empty Bottles on that record, or was it the next?
Empty Bottles was on that record.
Yeah, we had so many hits on it. It's so many big records. I think that it fell in a weird time. It was somewhere between the tail end of streaming wasn't what streaming is yet, and the old school way was dying off. Was all but dead.
It was a weird limbo.
It was a super weird time to be putting out. Because remember, Till It's Gone got picked up by the last scene of Sons of Anarchy, which made that such a big moment.
I remember that. Yeah.
I remember sitting at the house watching and going, this dude's fixing to have the biggest moment ever. I could feel it right then.
For sure.
And you felt it in Nashville, though, dude. Him and Clever, his DJ, running around town on Harleys, long hair. It was just such a different feeling that was happening around what he was doing in that moment. But I think it was just a very weird time to be putting out work. It's like buying houses or selling them right now.